Good morning, welcome to Jonesified. I have a Fender Strat in front of me and the customer has brought it in for a setup, so I'm going to just kind of go through the process of evaluating the guitar to see what it needs to play to its full potential. And I figured this would be a good quick, little video to do without taking too much time out of the day. And so the first thing that I do is I just look at the guitar and I put it here on my table, and I can see that the frets are worn really quite bad. I'm going to show the fret wear. You see that? Underneath each string there's a groove, and the groove is from playing the guitar and the strings wearing through the metal of the frets. This is the fret right here, in case you're not aware. And these are the strings, and when you press down it wears on that in the same spot where you play it over and over again. The customer's main complaint was that when he bends the note it frets out, and some new guitars will do that too, especially if the action's too high or too low rather, and you have a 7.25 radius, which is the earliest vintage radius produced by Fender. And so, sometimes Fender will still put out new guitars that are made in the fashion of the old guitars. And, people will, unbeknownst to them, buy the 7.25 radius and not realize that um, there are performance related issues that could come up. It may not play the way they want to. That's not to say that they're not awesome in their own way, but they definitely require a special setup if you want to bend a note, especially on the 15th fret. So, the first thing I always do when I'm evaluating, other than just look at the guitar, the second thing I always do is, when I'm going to do a setup or I'm checking the playability on the guitar, I always get out my number 2 screwdriver and I check to make sure that this guy is tight, because you know what? Most of the time it's not. Look, look at that. That's a whole turn on the screw. And I'm not over tightening it. These guys were just loose. I could just hear the fretboard come in there. That's quite a bit. Okay, now it's tight. So that could fix the fret out problem, even though the frets are worn really bad. That could actually make, changes the angle of the neck. So let's just check it out. We're on the 15th fret again, which is usually one of the worst areas. Nope, still frets out. Okay, so the next thing I gotta do with this guitar is I gotta see what's the highest point. Wait, I gotta see what's the lowest point of the wear and see how high that point is. To do that, I'm going to use a little caliper that I got from Stuart McDonald, stumac.com. And on the bottom, it has a little groove. They have all the information on their website. And I'll be able to use my caliper to measure the height of that wear point. And what I did with mine is I filed it really narrower right here so it fits in the groove of the string. So I'm going to measure this guy real quick. I put it in the groove of the string, slide it down. I got 45 thousandths. So 45 thousandths is plenty of room to dress the frets. So I have to call the customer and recommend to him that the frets need to be dressed, and that'd be the only way for this guitar to play as good as it can. And if he decides to get the frets dressed, there'll be a video follow-up, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done and how it plays and how it functions. Have a great Tuesday. Cheers. Oh, let me take a moment to plug Guitars Over Guns, the best organization in Miami, putting instruments in the hands of youth that may not otherwise have an opportunity to play. Check out Guitars Over Guns on the internet. Thanks.